No matter how shit teams can be,
Yes, Mr. Sharma. I think this might be a first. I don't know if you've ever done a show while on transit, but thank you for having me on. And this weekend's game should be fun. I should let you know, though, that it does clash with England's semi-final at the Rugby World Cup. So, in stark contrast,
football is priority.
Well, you're going to have to tell that to Hanno because I'll probably be on watch-long duty for the semi-final. We've been hosting some good coverage of the tournament, and I've been able to watch that. But I'll see definitely as much of that as I can, of course. And yeah, it is going to start at about, I think it's 5:30 kickoff UK time, isn't it? Yeah, so yeah, looking forward to that. But I'll give you obviously, you know, we are at least in theory in a better position than you, but this is.
Yep.
Okay.
It is airport Wi-Fi, unfortunately. No matter how developed a country is, airport Wi-Fi will be airport Wi-Fi.
Yeah, well, at least you can't say you didn't try. But
exactly.
Yeah, so you're going to have to ask your question and also try and type it in the private chat, obviously, and I will get to that if I can.
Okay. So, are you confident going into the game?
I'd say 60 to 65% confident, really, because look, a lot has been made about the Manchester City win, but what people don't seem to realise is that in as much as we might have at least marginally played the better football, we were still quite lucky to score another deflected goal. And it was, of course, the same deflected goal that got us the Community Shield win. Once again, we're at a stage where several Arsenal fans on YouTube are making it their mission to take the mickey out of everyone by saying Arsenal are doing great. We're in the title race already. I mean, for God's sake, I don't even believe we've played 10 games in the season yet, and already we've got people gassing the team up already. I understand why you hate Arsenal fans with such a passion. I hope you can understand that they don't speak for me.
Of course. Look, that's why you're welcome onto my channel every time. Because I can have a man-to-man conversation with you.
Yep. And that is something I really enjoy, I have to say. But how confident are you? That's the question.
Ooh, not very confident, if I'm honest with you.
Why would you not be confident? Yeah, go ahead.
Have you seen how where we are in the table, Manny? What gives me any right to be confident going into this game? And any Chelsea fan who is confident, I'm asking them why.
Well, I mean, I hope you can at least accept that you're in a better position now than a few games ago, right?
Yeah, but the season is still very early stages.
How is Mudrak, by the way?
He scored on international duty, and I think, and he scored for us versus Fulham, I believe.
Yep, I saw that goal.
And Kai Havertz, he assisted in your last game.
He did, and we're going to see if that is the start of him really starting to come good with us, or whether that was just a flash in the pan. Because look, with another certain former Chelsea midfielder who we paid an astronomical sum for.
Is it a certain Brazilian Italian called Jorge Luis? By any chance?
Nope. It is Brazilian, but he's not really Brazilian Italian. He now plays for Fulham. He now plays for Fulham. We paid more for this guy than we could
midfielder. Willian is not a midfielder.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. He's more of a winger, sort of, in that respect. I understand,
yeah,
but
yeah,
you're right. Yeah, but he started well with us, of course. But
Willian is proper Samba.
Yeah, and he just never cut the mustard for us. And at least Havertz might have started to look a little bit good, but he needs a little bit more in terms of confidence under his belt. And at least Mudrak has beaten him to scoring a goal. And Alexander's saying that Poch does have a decent home record against the Arsenal, so that's something for which we should be a little bit scared, maybe.
But that was when he was with your North London neighbours.
True. But of course, it's a different chapter, and maybe. I mean, obviously, we don't have. Well, we shouldn't. We don't really fear any team now, for some better or worse. But when that translates into a certain sort of complacency, then it can be a very bad thing indeed.
I have a lot of your. Do you fear that a lot of your top booners, per se, do you fear that they're getting a little too complacent with this game, or do they have every right to be confident?
It's par for the course, I'm afraid. I mean, I think I said it at the beginning of the show or backstage. Once again, we have the same idiots who. I think I hasten to, take inspiration from Arsenal YouTuber Diesel, who says that these guys are really nothing but paid actors. Northside LDN, big up to him. My Portuguese Angolan brother says pretty much the same thing. They're paid to utter some crap, for the camera, and they get their pay packet at the end of it all, and then they just go home. But
yeah, a certain Robert Lyle as well.
Oh, yeah, that guy's really, the ringleader of the whole thing. But go ahead.
I mean, like, he's a nice guy and everything, but he's not very honest when it comes to his opinions.
Yep. I mean, it's one thing to say that when facts change, you're entitled to change your mind, but you at least owe it to people to articulate your opinion and be a little bit more sensible in those explanations. If you can't do that, then I'm sorry, but we can't give your opinions any real respect. You know what I mean?
Of course. So,
oh boy. Yeah, Nippon, you might need to check your private chat because it's now started to go completely wonky and I really can't hear what you're saying. Okay, so what was your question?
I said, do you have any injuries concerns going into this game?
Well, obviously, as you know, Bukayo Saka didn't play against Manchester City, and he did link up with the England squad, but he wasn't really in the matchday squad either for the friendly against Australia or for the match against Italy. I don't know I don't know if he's going to be fit to play to have any involvement. So if he isn't fit, then we are going to have to look to change our front line. If I never see Edward and Nketiah in the front three for again, it will be too soon. I really can't stand that guy.
He can score against us, to be fair. Come on. Remember
Yeah,
when
but
he leaned on the corner? Do you remember that? When he walked into the Matthew Harding lower and did the call me?
yeah, listen, I despise that celebration with a passion, and then Gabriel Jesus has the nerve to suggest that he might start doing that. You know, because um, it's a ridiculous celebration which has
So I think we don't
which
like
has
fit those players.
it's got arrogance written all over it. I mean, it's I mean, who are you going to call Eddie Nketiah for crying out loud? I mean, he scored. He might he'll have a game where he scores maybe one or two, and then he completely does sweet sod all afterwards. And there have been games where, quite frankly, his contribution since the first whistle has been very minimal, and he's been yanked off. So with Gabriel Martinelli showing some great form and coming back, I really would like to see him start. Now, there is talk about possibly playing Havertz as a false nine. I really don't know if I would like to see that necessarily because in the Community Shield, the man couldn't, hit the target from.
It's a barn door.
Yep, exactly. The man couldn't hit a barn door. And I really don't know how he's going to do, or maybe he'll do something in training which convinces Arteta that he's, right to play or whatever. And it is what it is. Our midfield also will certainly need a lot of rejigging. It was good to see Thomas Partey come back in. Will he be fit enough to start? Is the big question. Alex Martinelli did actually come on as a substitute against City, and it was his.
And he scored.
He was. Yeah, thanks, of course, to another deflection from Nathan Ake. It was Akanji in the Community Shield. It was Ake this time around. And clearly, City have shown that when they lose some of their key players, they do have a bit of a soft centre. So it's early to say, but we are starting to see a few cracks in the Manchester City facade. And, this could very well be the season where they struggle, or knowing them as well as we do, they'll somehow find a way to come back just as they did last season. Pains in the rear end, I can tell you, but it is what it is.
Look, from a footballing perspective, it would be nice to see someone new win the league. However, if that someone new is Arsenal, I'd rather Man City win it. I'd rather Man City win the league 10 years straight than Arsenal ever win it. I'm sure that's how you'd feel about, the likes of Man United and Tottenham and all that.
Listen, when it comes to seeing teams win the league, I don't really go on record as saying that I hope teams never win the league again, because look, it's a case of be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. And just when we thought that we had when the worst bit was over, when United stopped winning, Chelsea came to the party and started winning, and then of course we saw City come in. So
now Newcastle are on the horizon.
What?
Now Newcastle are on the horizon after a big money takeover.
Yeah, but listen, Newcastle, of course, are a bit of a strange case. They are good enough to thrash PSG 4-1 at home, although let's face it, PSG are a pretty shambolic group right now. You see what I did with the PSG there?
Even still, a relative newbie to the Champions League,
Yeah,
and they
I
go on,
agree.
and they go. Was it in Gateshead or in the Parc de France?
It was in Gateshead. It was in Gateshead, and
Okay.
obviously, you've got to beat the teams that come up against you, and that's exactly what they did. They took advantage of some very sloppy defensive play, and how Gigi Donnarumma continues to make a career for himself as a goalkeeper, I will never know. One of the most overrated goalkeepers in world football today. The
I
man
love,
is
I
6 foot.
love, I love the fact that we silenced Italy. By the way,
Oh yes,
all of
payback is sweet.
oh well, payback would be if we win the Euros, but we move.
Yeah,
But wouldn't it be
and
ironic if they go back, like say if they failed to qualify for the Euros, wouldn't it be? Wouldn't they look back on the game and say, "Oh, all we had to do was beat Gareth Southgate"?
they're going to look back on their entire campaign and say, you know what, that entire World Cup debacle really hit them badly. And there is a school of thought which says that Mancini should probably have walked away after that dismal failure, because how do you go from being European champions to failing to qualify for the World Cup? I know it happened to Denmark in 1993, 94, and maybe one or two other teams, if memory serves me right. But, you know, I think whenever I think of that final and I see Giorgi Cellini shouting, "It's coming to Rome! It's coming to
Yeah,
Rome!"
that was
and
Leo
that
Benucci.
guy,
That was
what?
Leo Benucci.
No, that
Leonardo.
was Cellini. That was Cellini who was shouting that. I remember the face. I remember the eyes and everything. And that guy actually was the one who literally grabbed Saka by his shirt so severely he nearly strangled the poor boy. He should have been carded for that, maybe even sent off. But you know, we
I think
failed
he
once
was
again when it
carded.
came to the
I
penalties.
think he was carded.
I'll have to look that up. That's a story for another day.
I think
But
he
still,
was carded.
yeah. And
If if I was on VAR duty, I would have reviewed that and upgraded it to a red.
you and me both, brother. You and me both. And um, anyway, I mean, obviously, as you said, Newcastle are snapping at our heels. So this is the time when we got to get our act together. And any talk of how we are in the title race when we haven't even played Liverpool yet, we haven't played Aston Villa yet. Um, yes, we've played both Manchester clubs. We're yet to play a Chelsea team that still are quite dangerous. And I'll tell you what, I think it is quite fair to say that last season, the reason why things went south was because you sacked Tommy Tuchel. I know that you're a big fan of managerial stability. I know you wanted to see Potter given a great deal more time.
I did.
But why Todd? Yeah, but why Todd Bowley saw it fit to sack Tuchel, I have no idea, because
Maybe he
that
just wanted
fellow.
his own managers. Like maybe he just wanted to get rid of the previous regime entirely.
But I mean, you don't just do that when the team is doing. When the team is starting to do a little bit better. And I know that one mitigating factor is that after Tuchel was sacked, Potter actually didn't do too badly in the Champions League. And say whatever you want about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, he was a big part of Chelsea doing well in the group stages. But then obviously there was the whole thing which happened. He was cut from the squad. And then, he had his chance against Arsenal, and that didn't really work out. And the whole instability that was there when you had three managers in the season didn't really help. I agree, though, that Pot should be given time, and we should now start to see a little bit more in terms of stability. And now that you've gotten that you're starting to get a few results, maybe this will help in terms of confidence. And with Mudrak fit, if he's fit and happy and starting to really take to the game like a duck to water, I don't see why he can't continue to do well. And let me answer your question, Alex. The reason why Donnarumma is starting over Vicario, is that Donnarumma is, of course, now the new Italian captain. I mean, I've seen Vicario play, obviously, for Spurs, and he is a fine shot stopper, but maybe he needs to continue to play a little bit more and continue to develop a little bit more. And let's not forget the Napoli keeper Meret is also Meret rather is also very much in the picture. And yeah, I'm glad you're back. So maybe you needed to go out and come back again. But as I've said, we've got teams snapping at our heels, and we can't afford to be complacent. We haven't played Liverpool, and Liverpool look very dangerous indeed. And you know, all of these fans who are saying that we've got it in the bag, we've seen this before last season. I'm hopeful somehow that we can exorcise those ghosts, but it's a case of confidence being completely misplaced. It's as simple as that, really.
By the way, check what I said in the private chat. Don't say anything. Just tell me whether you've acknowledged.
Yeah, I completely. I saw that earlier, and I completely agree.
Yeah. So, do you think there's any point in making a combined 11? Or do you think it'll all be Arsenal players?
It depends on the formation you want to choose. I mean, would you like a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, or what's the story? Yeah. So I think we can possibly agree that the 4-2-3-1 formation is something that that works a lot better for both teams in terms of the way we play. It would be all Arsenal unless it's a fully fit team. Then Reece James gets in, or maybe Enzo Fernandez could come in. That's a good shout, Alex. I do like Enzo. I think he's absolute quality. Of course, best young player in the World Cup, and now, of course, the goalkeeper is an interesting question because it would be Raya against Sanchez, and Raya's been a little bit shaky. Sanchez hasn't looked too bad, and I tell you what, though, if I had to choose a defender, I'd pick Thiago Silva over Gabriel Magalhaes. Easy. Yeah, to answer your question about Thiago Silva, no, I don't think he's been shaky. I think obviously he is under a little bit of pressure, given that he is probably the best defender in Chelsea's team, and he should have been considered for the captaincy ahead of both Reece James, Chilwell, and Gallagher. And yes, I mean, if you take a look at Ryan Sanchez, Sanchez is, of course, the Spanish. I mean, I don't know why he hasn't been picked for the Spanish squad. I'd rate him over Kepa any day of the week, but he has started to become a little bit more consistent for you lot. And if memory serves me right, he won the Save of the Month award. Not that it means very much in the whole scheme of things. Yeah. Okay. Just taking a look at Alex's quote. If it's 5 at the back, then maybe Thiago Silva would go in because clearly he doesn't rate Jakub Kivior. I mean, look, Kivior's a decent defender, but he doesn't compare to Thiago at his best, so I would agree with that. But if we assume just when we think we have a breakthrough, we once again completely lose it. It's horrible, I know, but what can you do? Yeah. Okay, so hopefully, touch wood, we're fine. So yeah, Alex, I think, has said that he'd still prefer Gabriel over Silva, but yeah, let's take a look at it. I mean,
so for me, it's
yeah.
So for me,
Well, I think on Nippon's behalf, I really should apologize for the way things have been going. Clearly, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that his screen is frozen, and he can hardly say anything, and it's very difficult for um, you to hear him in that regard. That's airport Wi-Fi for you, I guess. And Nippon has said it. Airport Wi-Fi is dreadful, regardless of where you are. Couldn't agree more. And it just goes to show sometimes you've got to know what you can do and what you can't do with the airport Wi-Fi. And it just occurred to me. Okay, let's try now. So it's also just occurred to me that one person who should be considered for a combined Chelsea Arsenal team is Raheem Sterling. Why he hasn't been brought back to the England squad, I will never know. I think Southgate's also proving that, like Arteta, once you're frozen out, it's very difficult to get back in. But Sterling has been good for you lot. He definitely would go in on the right, especially if Bukayo Saka isn't fit. So you would have some Chelsea representation in the team, either in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1.
And
And once again, Mr. Sharma's broken up. I think it's fair to say that despite our best efforts, this hasn't really gone to plan. And
lesson learned, next time you want to stream from the airport, use your hotspot.
if you have one, of course. I mean, I use mine whenever I can. But yeah, so I was
economical.
Yeah, but I was just saying that there would be some Chelsea representation in an all a combined Chelsea Arsenal 11. So I think as much as Raya has performed well, he has looked a bit shaky at times, and I do like how Sanchez has performed in some cases, and his recent form has been a bit better. So I want to be fair. Let's say we pick a 4-2-3-1 with a flat back four, two defensive midfielders, three attacking midfielders, including a number 10 in the wingers, and of course a lone striker. I would certainly not mind going with Sanchez in goal. Right back, I suppose it would have to be Ben White because, look, I don't like him too much, but he's probably been the better performing right back this season. The idea of having left-footed Mark Cucurella there does not sit well with me at all. I mean, we have to deal with Alexander Zinchenko for crying out loud. And centre backs, I know Alex has gone with Gabriel and Saliba, but I would go with Thiago and Saliba, obviously, because, you know, Gabriel is still capable on his day of making some pretty poor mistakes. And I think with Thiago's leadership, it would be what is needed at the back. And at left back, certainly there really is no other option. I despise the guy with a passion playing in that position. I think he would have been more suited playing the role that Xhaka had before he left, but it would have to be Alexander Zinchenko. But the two-man defensive midfield, Declan Rice and Enzo Fernandez. How do you feel about that? Chilwell's a good shout. I don't know if he's fit or not though. Okay. Now, hope. Oh, for heaven's sake! Just when we think things might be going a bit better, but yeah. So the three attacking midfielders: Sterling on the right. That would be that would go without saying. On the left, I would definitely have Gabriel Martinelli. Then in the 10, I'd have to choose between Martin Odegaard and Mikhailo Mudryk. And although Mudryk does look to be in better form right now, I think statistically Odegaard has been better this season. So he'd slot right in there. And the lone striker, I almost don't know who your striker is at Chelsea. That's how bad things are with me. But it would have to be Gabriel Jesus, who can at least score goals, even if he's not prolific. So there's your Chelsea Arsenal 11. Okay, that's a good shout, Alex. That's a good shout. Have Cole Palmer play in the number 10 role. So there you have it. 4 out of 7 are Chelsea players, and you have a pretty decent team there. Palmer instead of Odegaard.
Nice. Now, all I can say is, Arsenal. So, what would if you were the manager? Who would be your pick? Who would you pick? And then also, who do you think Mikel Arteta will pick?
Well, at least Mikel and I are, consistent in the fact that we would both play David Raya in goal. Sorry to all of those Ramsdale fanboys. He's going to have to work hard to earn his spot back, and that's the way it should be. And it will, of course, be Benny Blanco at right back, Zinchenko on the left, and of course it will be Saliba and Gabriel. I'd like to see him play Rice and Partey if Partey is fit. Otherwise, it could very well be Rice and Jorginho. And if he has to shoehorn Kai Havertz in, he might very well decide to play him as the false 9 with Martinelli on the left. And
Saka on the right.
No, Saka, I don't know if he'll be involved. So we might have to be prepared in case he doesn't get the scenario in which he doesn't get involved. I really don't like pushing Jesus onto the wing because he is more suited as a centre forward. But then if he and Havertz can maybe switch things around, that would be fine. Anything to get Eddie Nketiah out of the team, even if it means playing Havertz. And then, of course, Odegaard slots in. I want to see Arsenal return to the 4-2-3-1, which has seen us play some of our best football. But obviously, knowing him as well as we do, he will go for the 4-3-3. So effectively, it will be Rice in the middle of the park and Odegaard in the middle of the park as 2 of the 3 midfielders, and invariably it will be Eddie Nketiah who starts alongside them. If Saka's still not fit, he's going to have to go. If he does decide to go with Reece Nelson and Gabby Jesus up front, then that could be good. But then, yeah, at least that way he picks Havertz and Odegaard in his team, and it's that 4-3-3 formation. I mean, somehow, don't get me wrong, we're playing some decent football, but it's nowhere near as good as when we have the 4-2-3-1. And at least with the 4-2-3-1 that Koch is trying to use, you're starting to play a little bit better football, I would say.
Facts. Now, I'm going to go with my Chelsea lineup, then the score predictions, and then I really need to wrap up.
By all means.
Okay, so in goal, I'm going to go with the 4-2-3-1, interchanging with the 4-3-3. I'm going to go with David Raya in goal. I'm going to go with, sorry, Robert Sanchez in goal. Yeah, that tells you how much sleep I've had during my flight. I'll go with Robert Sanchez in goal. I'll go with a centre-back pairing of Axel Disasi and Thiago Silva.
Good call.
We've been playing Levi Colwill at left back for quite some time. So you know what? We're going to keep him there. Levi Colwill at left back.
Oh yeah, I could actually have him over Zinchenko. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Zinchenko is a quality midfielder, but as a left back, he's absolutely awful.
Malo
so there you have it.
Yeah, you can change that. Malo Gusto. So yeah, Malo Gusto at right back, and then I would have in a midfield three, Conor Gallagher. No, sorry, Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez. I think it has to be Conor Gallagher if I'm not. If I'm real. And yeah.
So as you were saying, Fernandez and Gallagher, who would be your third midfielder?
Cole Palmer in the 10.
Okay.
And then the front three, I would say Sterling on one side, Mudryk on the other, and then I wouldn't care if they can't score goals to hit a bond or either Armando Broja or what's the other one's name? I forgot. Oh, and Nicholas Jackson.
Oh, Nicky Jackson.
Now, Manny, what's your score prediction?
I'm probably going to go for a 2-1 win for the Arsenal. I'm not going to say there's going to be a very big win. I think we should be confident of beating you lot. No offense, of course, but I wouldn't be surprised if after the high of beating Manchester City, we get all cocky and then end up being caught with our shorts around our ankles.
Look, if we do win, you're not going to be on my hit list in terms of fans to. Let's just say call out, go on a ramp, I'll go on a field day, bro.
You have it. You have it. You do whatever you feel like, and make sure you give it to them well.
I'm not going to go after you because
I know.
You're humble with your opinions.
Exactly. Thank you very much indeed.
because I've been seeing 5-0 Arsenal, 6-0 Arsenal. So
Agreed.
look, I always go with head and heart when it comes to derbies. My head says it's going to be a 3-1 win to you guys, but my heart says we can nick a 2-1 win.
Wow. I love it when you speak from the heart.
Yeah. So, before we go, Manny, where can people find you?
Yeah, find me on YouTube on several channels, and yeah, Alex has pretty much nailed it perfectly. I mean, the prediction, he's gone for a 1-1 with Arteta playing both of our Chelsea rejects in Jorginho and Kai Havertz. And of course, there were several Arsenal fans saying Spurs would lose 5-0, but credit to them, they got a 2-2 draw. Arsenal didn't, and we didn't. We had I think we
Yeah,
had a penalty,
it's
and
the same thing. It's an Arsenal
yeah,
player scored it. It's an Arsenal goal.
yeah. But yeah, listen, I like it when you speak from your heart, and as I said, you can find me on several channels on YouTube. Big up as well to the Football for Thought podcast. And next time, if we can hop on, it'll be better. But now you've learnt your lesson. Stay away from the airport Wi-Fi. Conduct a stream when you're in a more secure brick and mortar location where the Wi-Fi is a lot more stable. And you tried, and we've ended it well enough. So I'm happy. And yeah,
You put
catch
it
me.
this way. Next time I'm in an airport, I am using my mobile phone Wi-Fi. As in, like, I'm using my 4G. I don't care how much extra I'll have to pay, roaming fees and all that. It's worth not having a crappy Wi-Fi. It's worth not having a crappy stream, at least.
Yeah, but I mean, do what you have to do. Do what you have to do. And social media, Twitter is Thungatherai 1981, Instagram and Threads, Manny Thungatherai 1981. And yeah, all I can say is just to everyone who's watching, thanks to all those of you back in the UK who've gotten up at this ungodly time to watch this little, you know, car crash of a stream, but it has ended well. And just enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy the sporting action. If you enjoy the egg chasing, we've got the first semi-final of the Rugby World Cup today. We've got some more cricket taking place from India. But until then, don't do anything that Mr. Sharma and I wouldn't do. Just take care and stay happy. And Mr. Sharma's got to have some breakfast, and so have I. See you all soon.
See you soon. And you can find me on you can find me on the socials ticking below in the news network style format. You can also find me as a regular on Worldwide Chels. Big up Sadiq. Go subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. Worldwide Chels and Sid TV. Go subscribe to his second channel if you haven't already. You can also find me as an occasional caller on Football Carnage TV, run by the Big Six Liverpool representative, Grizz Khan. And yeah, with that being said, I shall see you all in the next stream, which is later today at 11 p.m. Bangkok time, my birthday stream. So, Manny, you're more than welcome to hop on.
If I can. But if I
Cool.
can't, have yourself an amazing day, and thanks a lot for having me on again. And
Thank you.
next time, whenever you have a stream like this, I will try and look to hop on more regularly.
Okay, I'll see you later.